Hi, it's Stephen here from Termination Wave, and this is day 26 of the September Daily Draw. So as we end the week and approach the weekend, let's see what message we get. I'll be taking the first card from the Mystic Palette Tarot, Muted Edition, followed by an Oracle card from the Seasons of the Witch Mabon Oracle. So let's use our first card and get the reading underway. Okay, here we go. So we have the Chariot card. I think we had this earlier in the month. And this is about being in the driving seat. This is about determining where we're going and how we get there. This is about our will and our intention and what we want to achieve and getting towards that achievement, moving in that direction. This is where we focus, where we keep everything moving in line with our plans, with our intent. We don't let anything stray either way from what we've envisioned, what we've determined, what we've intended, and we keep things on track. This is about keeping things on track by our intent, by our will, by our actions, by our choices, by our thoughts, by our words, by our communications, everything moving together, all our passions and feelings moving in unison together towards this destination, this goal, this something that we're aiming for, where we want to get to. So this is about navigating our route. This is about being in control of the way we travel. And this is, we're focused on the terrain that we're traveling in, and we are concentrating on it, and we can adapt and maneuver any kind of change in the terrain when necessary. We've got the skill, we've got the determination, we've got the confidence. We are in the driving seat. This is what the Chariot is bringing to us today, that it's up to us. We determine where we go and how we get there. Yes, energies outside of our personal control and can determine the nature of the landscape through which we travel, but how we travel through it, how we get through it, is down to us. So, it's like if you're driving in a car, you're the driver, you know where you want to get to, you're on the route, and suddenly there's a problem ahead on the road where you want to be going down. It's no longer, there's something's happened, they've closed the road off, they've got a barrier across it, or something means you can't go no further on the present road. But usually in that circumstance, and there's nothing you can do about it, so that's outside of your control. But you can choose. There's obviously a way. There's usually a diversionary route to go around that block, and maybe you'll find your destination through another route, or you'll come out past the obstacle. You'll go off the road, divert round, and almost come back onto that road further down the way, past the obstacle, and you can continue on your way. And so, even when there are things that unexpected arise that can force you to adapt and change your route to some degree, you still have to you determine how you get around that. And and maybe you, in a sense, that's a poor analogy in one sense, because you either got to go backwards, and you probably can't do that, or you can't go forward, so you've got to go the diversion route because that's your only option. So in one sense, you don't necessarily do that, but you go that way and you determine where you go from there. Because sometimes there may be other routes off of there where you can choose to go rather than when you. But the point is that you still know that you've got to get to your destination, and you can navigate your way as far as possible. And where there's changes, then there's usually a way around it where you can still get to your destination. So what I'm saying is that we're in the driving seat, we determine things, and we have to keep on the right road. If through no reason whatsoever we just decide to turn off onto some other road that doesn't go near where we want to be, there's no reason for it. We could have gone straight on towards our destination, but we decided to turn onto another route. Then that would stray off from where we want to be and would take us away from where we want to be. And we've got to be careful that we don't allow ourselves to be tempted to stray off that, to keep ourselves on the right track. And that's what something else, that's something else that the chariot tells us that we need to be careful of and to make sure that we do. So that's the message of the chariot. Keep on track, keep going. You're in charge, you're in the driving seat. You determine how you travel. You may not always be in charge of the landscape. There may be situations where you need to adjust, but ultimately you're the driver. You go where you want to, and you move everything. Everything has to move in unison towards that goal, towards that destination. Okay, so let's see which oracle card we get to go with that. Okay, here we go. Peppers. I think we've had this before. All the different peppers here. Spicing, spice of life. Put some pepper into your life here. Be fierce about the ways in which you protect yourself. Lies await. So this is about these peppers. It's like putting a bit of bite, into what you're doing. That determination, that sense of grit, and almost a fierceness to protect yourself, to stop you going off track. Stop getting, don't allow yourself to be pulled off track. Keep yourself on track, and almost, with that, grit and determination, you'll make your way forward. And there may be allies, there may be signs to help you navigate, to show you where you're at the moment and where you need to, how far you've come and where you need to be, all kinds of things like that. There will be things to help you, but ultimately you're the one that has to receive the help. You're the one that has to see the signs. You're the one that has to keep moving forward in the right way. And that's what these cards are saying to us today. Okay, so that's today's message. I'll be back tomorrow with day 27. Until then, thank you for listening. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you all again very soon. Okay, bye-bye.